Today we will discuss the next part of the chapter Federalism, in which we will talk about the decentralization, why do we need it, the different levels of decentralization, advantages and disadvantages of it. When we talk of the word decentralization, it means when power is taken away from the central and the state government and given to the local government, it is called as decentralization. What is the basic idea behind decentralization? The first thing, solving large number of problems and issues at the local level. There are many smaller issues that can be sorted at the local levels only. So for this reason, that power is being given to the local government. Second, people have better knowledge of problems in localities. For example, there is a cyclone or there is a flood. So people living in that particular area better knows how to take safety measures against it. Better ideas on where to spend money and how to manage things efficiently. The people in different particular areas know how to spend the money, what is the prior need, where the money has to be invested. People's participation in decision making. In villages, that is the lowest unit, we can find that the people assemble at a place and then they participate in any kind of a decision making process. To realize one important principle of democracy, that is the local government, in which now the local government is also given some kinds of powers. Then in decentralization became more efficient and became more powerful when in 1992 an act was being passed which gave some kinds of powers. The first one, it is mandatory to hold regular elections to the local government. When we talk about mandatory, it means compulsory to hold regular elections. Means after every 5 years, elections should be held at the local government. Reservation of the seats should be there for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward classes people. Third, 1/3 seats should be reserved for the women. Fourth, a separate election commission was being formed to conduct elections at the local level. Fifth, state government will share some powers and revenue, means some kind of funds, some kind of taxes with the local government. Now we talk about the local government at the rural level, that means the villages. It is also called as the Panchayati Raj system. First we talk from the lowest level, that is the village level. At the village level, as we all know, it is called as Gram. It is divided into two parts, the Gram Panchayat and the Gram Sabha. When we talk about Gram Panchayat, it consists of 5 members. The head is the Sarpanch, who is being elected by the members of the Gram Sabha. The functions of the Gram Panchayat is to formulate the annual budget, provide civic amenities in the village and open primary health centers in the villages. The function of Gram Sabha is, it elects the members of the Gram Panchayat, supervises the work of the Gram Panchayat and approves the annual budget of the Panchayat. It meets at least twice or thrice in a year. In the Gram Sabha, there are all the adult citizens or voters of the village. Means all the people of the village who are 18 and above are the members of the Gram Sabha. At the block level, there is your Panchayat Samiti or Mandal Samiti. Few Gram Panchayats are grouped together to form a Panchayat Samiti or the Mandal Samiti. The elected head of the Samiti is known as a chairperson or a BDO, that is the Block Development Officer. The main functions of the block level is to solve the problem of irrigation, make arrangements for road and transport, supply the fertilizers and seeds to the farmers. Now at the district level, there is the Zilla Parishad. It is the highest local body in the rural local government. All Panchayat Samitis or Mandals in a district together constitute the Zilla Parishad. Most members of the Zilla Parishad are being elected, and the members of the Lok Sabha, MLAs and MPs of the district are the members of the Zilla Parishad. What are the functions? They coordinate the work of all the panchayats in that district. They give suggestions to the Gram Panchayats in their working. They scrutinize the budgets of all the local bodies in that particular district. Now comes the urban local government. That means we are talking about the cities and the towns. At the lowest level is the municipality. They are set up in the towns. The municipal chairperson is the political head of the municipality. There is a deputy chairperson who holds the municipality in the absence of the chairperson. Then in the big cities we find there are municipal corporations. It consists of a general council or councillors, mayor, municipal commissioners and the standing committees. The head of the Zilla Parishad is a mayor who presides over the meetings of the corporation. The functions of the municipality and the municipal corporations are like they open schools and colleges, arrangements for public conveyance, taking necessary steps for the public health, developing parks and gardens, constructing and maintaining rest houses and orphanages. Now, there are some positive points and some negative points of decentralization. The first, when we talk about the positive points, it has increased the women representation in the democracy. Second, constitutional status for it has helped to deepen democracy in our country. Third, elections are held regularly. When we talk about the difficulties or disadvantages or problems of decentralization, the first thing we find that the meetings of Gram Sabha are not held regularly. That means twice or thrice in a year. Second, local government do not have the resources of their own. Third, sometimes the state government do not give powers to the local self-government. With this we come to the end of the chapter Federalism.